Hi everybody, I'm back. Having had a time to watch the presentations that we completed in 5 parts, culminating in Bessemer, and studying myself and considering what the potential impact may be on what you heard. Were you able to understand clearly? So there are a few things that were left off. I want to take a little time today, if you'll indulge me, to clear up some things, mainly about how we create our own illnesses. We talked about the body chart, the principles of the chakras. So that's what I want to do here today. I do plan on combining all parts of the presentation to publish on YouTube worldwide. Okay, thank you. We are busting up Bogus HIV worldwide. Before we get started, I want to talk to you about my cosmic mother, Nephthys. Here she is. You can see my altar to her. I hope that you'll order and read my book. The chapter in it is about Kundalini, that energy that lies dormant in the base of the spine when awakened, raises consciousness awareness. From the day of my awakening in 1998. Everything changed. And one of those things, and this may sound a little odd, is that ravens began to appear everywhere I went. In my home, at work, on the road, out of town. And it became so prevalent, initially terrifying me. But it led me to studying deeply into spirituality, learning mainly about Native American spirituality. And many years later, in fact, this year, I realized who those ravens were. And hence my latest presentations, me and Mama Nephthys. So if you have not seen that, please do. Basically, she, in the understanding of Kemetan mythology, she is a person who helped Osiris put his parts back together after his brother cut him up into 14 pieces and scattered him about the land. And her sister Isis was wanting to put him back together. And in fact, Nephthys has been putting me back together. She has been guiding, guarding, and protecting me all along. And so I honor her, I love her. People see me posting about her. I'm sure they think it's a little weird, you know, and I'm not so concerned about that, because all things spiritual and mystical are exciting, and they require a stretch of consciousness beyond the mundane physical world. So I want to honor Nephthys. She's actually present in several areas in my home. In my video, Pharaohs, Gods, Kings, and Queens, she's in the space and the silence. That's before I even knew who she was. I love her. My mother, my birth mother, is a representative of her, as many women are. Like I mentioned, Dr. Banks is representing the returning divine feminine energies on our planet to reestablish Mayat balance. Within males and females, the masculine and feminine energies are being balanced. We're moving out of patriarchy back into a more matriarchal system and reestablishing balance. Okay, that being said, I wanted to show over here. This is Moors. Moors emerged out of Kemet into Europe to share the knowledge of our ancestors, because they knew that pursuant to the universal law of rhythm, that we would be falling from high spiritual status, which we once held, down to the state where you see us today, a very low state. But they also knew that according to the universal law of rhythm, we would rise again. And that is a process that we are in. There are those who are aware of that, and they are terrified. And therefore, many things are done to keep us from the awareness of who we really are. But I believe through our tragedies, like this bogus HIV situation has been for me, the triumphant part is that the search for self, the search for God begins. And so much is learned in that process. Again, it's been over 22 years since I stopped taking those drugs, but every day of my life changed since the day of my Kundalini awakening. And I have learned so many things that I love sharing with you all as a teacher of metaphysics, like I do on Facebook. I hope you appreciate that. All right, I want to work my way around here and just mention quickly again about Dr. Banks's book, The Slow Death of the Cancer AIDS Paradigm. In it, she mentions the tragedy of how almost 500,000 people per year are killed by doctor error. So, again, it is important for you to be discerning and to use critical thinking skills whenever you're making a decision about your health. Nobody is really responsible for that but you. Also, get this book. To be honest, I haven't even finished it yet. I'm going to spend a little more time with it as time permits. And I want to have a deep understanding of everything in here. But my book, which is scholarship, bibliography, I even have an extensive reading list that I've made available to you. As you can see my bookshelves here, that I also post titles of books and whatnot. Shows the investment that I have made into coming to understand myself and spirituality. And then, of course, I want to honor my mother, who has been there through this trauma with me. She is the divine representative of the divine feminine returning energies on this planet, like Dr. Banks and many other women. I like to call them goddesses because they take action toward raising awareness. See me when I was a little boy there? And here, I love this picture. That says a lot about my soul, why I incarnated here. I'm very pleased to be me. Now, I want to add, before I go in and clear up some things about the interview with Goldie. So thankful to him. I've talked to him a couple of times since we've agreed to meet for dinner and continue to discuss his strategizing of his complete and entire healing, optimal wellness. And so I want to say thank you to him. Part of what has allowed many of you to be misled is this incessant marketing of what we call HIV/AIDS speak. Words like antiretrovirals, you heard Goldie mentioning that, meds, as opposed to drugs, T-cell count, CD4 count, HIV test, AIDS infection, HIV positive, grid, viral load. All of these, I and other scholars, Dr. Phil Valentine calls a lexicon of death, a language of death. I mentioned to you when I was speaking the other day that taking those 2 pills in the morning and the 2 pills at night, they basically were cues to remind me that I was going to die when I believed that. Had I continued to buy into that, again, I would no longer be here. So look deeply into things for yourself. Remove yourself from this language of death. But Goldie told us that the CD4 counts go up when he's taking those drugs, which we have already proved block the synthesis of DNA at the mitochondrial energy center, powerhouse of the cell. It debilitates and kills people. As horrible as that is, it is the truth. So higher CD4 counts don't mean anything other than you are taking drugs that are harming you. And then when it gets low, this is something I really want to discuss here today. We have been conditioned to juxtapose HIV with AIDS. supposedly, and the way they market it, if you have HIV, and now they have this ridiculous idea that people are buying into about a pill that can keep you from getting HIV. That is so absurd. I don't even debate people about that because I can tell the level of intelligence they're missing. So I don't even get into that with them. I like to keep it simple. HIV was never proved to exist by means of classical virology, where you have to purify and isolate a virus. And we already know about some of the shady characters like Dr. Robert Gallo, who profited off of patenting those tests without ever really getting to the bottom of the science. Many of the scholars have said that he was in error there. Now, why our government and whomever else chose to go forward with this, all the reasons that I said earlier, genocide, eugenics, profiteering off others' deaths, stimulating world economies, that's something they're going to have to answer for. This is the age of truth. Again, all manner of untruth is being exposed. Nobody's going to be immune to it. I haven't been immune to it since my Kundalini awakened. All the things I used to do to manipulate and get over all fell away. And all that was left was me to look at myself. Just like all that's going to be left is you to look at your illnesses and figure out how and why you created them, and then make a choice to change who you are and how you are, the way you are in the world, and allow that energy to be restored in your chakra column. The energies that generate health. The chakra column. From the root all the way up to the crown, abiding by those principles. Read my book, study my website, and see if you are in line or on your way to creating illnesses to teach you more about yourself. Isn't that an interesting paradox? That what seemed painful and hard teaches you of your own power to heal yourself and be the Christ in your own life, rather than calling on someone to save you. You get to be that yourself. And when you do that, you're beginning to understand the Cometan pantheon. Right behind me, up there, you can see Heru. From his name, hero comes many words. Horizon. He is the original Christ on this planet, from which all others and their stories were derived. So, this is what it's all about. Becoming the Heru in your own life. Okay? That's what your illnesses are teaching you. The illnesses provide a roadmap to recovery. When you understand that it is you who is creating your illnesses, and it is you who can heal them, then you're in a better position to self-empower, to become the power in your own life, to stop allowing others to tell you what's best for you. Learn to love yourself, learn to balance your energies, not being arrogant or being depressed. Finding that middle ground where you can get along respectfully with yourself and others. And then and only then, through the heart of unconditional love, can you ascend to higher levels of awareness in the throat, third eye, and crown chakras, where you can be divine voice. You can experience intuition. And it all is achieved by letting go of the past, now that you've learned the lessons, and living in the present moment of awareness. It is a gift that all of us have. So, there is no HIV. HIV is bogus, and we are busting it up here in Birmingham, where I have returned and healed myself. I really have. And I'm going to continue to grow this awareness, probably less on Facebook and more in other ways. Again, I'm returning to Atlanta. I know Spirit is going to lead me to something greater and higher, as it is doing you in your own life right now. If you are meditating, contemplating, and committing to become a better person. I love you all. Thank you so much for indulging me here and on Facebook and wherever else you've seen me. Synchronicity is really off the chain these days. I was in 5 Points yesterday and ran into people who heard of me and my work. And so I know that what I've been doing has been paying off. I want you to be a part of that train, the soul train. That's what it is, evolving our soul. All right, Hetep, I love you all. I am the Conscious Dr. Rainbow Warrior, Kabir Amen Ra Ampur Sarset Harakti, Dr. Damian Q. Laster, Metaphysical Science. Goodbye.